Hello everyone, I'm Joe Session. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here again. Today I've got something that I know many of you absolutely love, a brand new jazz vinyl haul. You know how it is. Some weeks you wander into a few local record shops thinking that you'll just have a browse, telling yourself, I'm only gonna have a look. I don't need to buy anything right now. And then suddenly you're standing there at the counter with an armful of records, thinking, well, it would be rude not to. That's exactly what happened to me this week. I popped into a couple of my favorite local spots just to see if they had anything new, and honestly, the jazz gods were smiling on me. I managed to dig out 3 absolutely brilliant records, each one different in feel, style, and energy, but all of them top quality additions to the collection. I can't wait to share them with you. Before we get into it, I want to hear from you lot as well. When was the last time you went out crate digging? What did you pick up? Have you found any rare pressings, bargain bin gems, or just albums you've been hunting for ages? I've been on a great run of luck recently, almost suspiciously good to be honest. So I'm curious to know if anyone else out there in the community is experiencing the same vinyl fortune. Drop a comment below because I really do enjoy reading through your finds and adding some of your recommendations to my own wish list. Right, let's get into today's haul. The first record I want to show you is an album by American jazz multi-reedist Bennie Maupin, titled Slow Traffic to the Right, released in 1977 via Mercury Records. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you will know that this isn't the first time I've spoken on this one. I actually featured it in my video titled 5 Essential Jazz, Funk and Fusion Albums You Need to Know, because it really is one of those albums that stays with you after the first listen. So, when I saw an original pressing of it sitting there in the jazz section while on my dig, there was absolutely no hesitation. It was one of those moments where you instantly recognize the sleeve and your brain goes, yep, that's mine. I certainly wasn't going to leave it behind. Now here's something interesting after doing a bit of digging, the research kind, not the crate kind. I found out that this LP was actually reissued in April 2025 by Verve as part of their Verve by Request series. Those reissues are normally done with a lot of care and good mastering, but to my surprise, the copy I picked up is an original Mercury pressing. And even better, the shop owner, who I've become quite friendly with over time, even knocked a bit off the price without me even asking. I guess that's one of the perks of being a regular. You build relationships, swap recommendations, and sometimes you get lucky with the pricing. Musically, this album sits comfortably in the jazz funk corner of the fusion universe, but with that astral, cosmic flavor that Maupin is known for. It's got a spiritual undertone without becoming overly abstract, and a groove-centered feel without losing its atmospheric richness. The lineup is ridiculous in the best possible way. Maupin assembled a seriously talented group. J. Allen Gums and Patrice Rushen trading keyboard duties, Ralph Armstrong and Paul Jackson on bass, Eddie Henderson on trumpet and flugelhorn, and that's just scratching the surface. It's a proper all-star cast. In my other video, I mentioned that my favourite tracks were It Remains to Be Seen and Quasar, and I still stand by that. They're incredible, but after spinning the record again this week with that original pressing warmth, I've really grown to appreciate the track Water Torture in a new way. It's a mellow, funky, slightly hypnotic number that rewards you for giving it your full attention. Patrice Rushen's electric piano sounds buttery smooth, blending perfectly with Maupin's earthy, atmospheric horn textures. And here's a listening tip. Make sure you listen to Water Torture right up until the end. About halfway through, everything mellows out beautifully, and the electric piano, supported by these lush, almost cinematic strings becomes incredibly warm and majestic. It's one of those moments where you just sit back and go, yep, that's why I buy vinyl. The whole album is a journey, and I'm genuinely thrilled to finally own an original copy. Next up is a slightly earlier album, Throb by vibraphonist Gary Burton, released in 1969 on Atlantic Records. Now, I love finding fusion records that aren't overly tied to funk or electric jazz. Albums that take fusion in more unexpected directions. And Throb definitely fits that category. This one blends jazz with elements of rock and folk, which gives it a unique character compared to some of the funkier fusion records of the era. The lineup is fantastic. Gary Burton on vibraphone and piano, Jerry Hahn on guitar, Richard Green on violin, Steve Swallow on bass, and Bill Goodwin on drums. Burton was always good at experimenting with textures and cross-genre collaboration, and this group really embodies that spirit. One of the first things that caught my attention before even listening to the record was the album cover. In the center there's this strange, abstract image. I honestly have no idea what it's supposed to be. I tried looking into it and found out that the cover was designed by Loring Utemi, who did quite a lot of iconic jazz artwork, but I still couldn't figure out what the central image represents. It's quirky and a bit puzzling. If any of you have any theories about what the cover art is supposed to depict, please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm very curious. My favourite track from this album is named Some Echoes. It's probably the funkiest and most rhythmically gripping track on the record, which might explain why I gravitated towards it. The bass playing is fantastic, the violin adds this unexpected but tasteful texture, and the guitar has this slightly gritty edge that contrasts nicely with Burton's warm vibraphone tone. There's a real push and pull in the arrangement that keeps you engaged from start to finish. Adding this album to the collection felt like finding a piece of fusion history that doesn't get talked about as much as it should. It's different, it's adventurous, and it really showcases Gary Burton's willingness to blur genre lines. And now for the third and final record in today's video, Solar Heat by the great Cal Tjader. The copy I picked up is the 1969 Fontana version. After doing a bit of checking, it seems the album was originally released on Sky Records in the US and Canada. This copy is in really clean condition, the kind of condition that makes you smile before you even place the record on the turntable. I've been wanting more Cal Tjader in my collection for a while now, so finding this one felt like the perfect opportunity. Tjader is known for blending Latin jazz with cool jazz sensibilities, and Solar Heat captures that signature blend beautifully. The personnel on this album is brilliant. Cal Tjader on vibraphone, João Donato on organ, Bobby Rodriguez and Chuck Rainey sharing bass duties, Ray Barretto and Orestes Villato on percussion, Mike Abene on keys, and Gary McFarland also appearing on vibes. With a lineup like that, you just know that the grooves are gonna be irresistible. My favourite tracks are Felicidad, an up-tempo Latin jazz tune with a breezy bossa nova feel, and Here, which blends the classic Latin jazz sound with funky undertones and a smooth, relaxed vibe. I also found myself really enjoying Amazon, which has this uplifting, sunny energy which instantly brightens your mood. It's one of those albums that brings a bit of warmth into the room the moment the needle drops. I'm genuinely thrilled to have added some Latin jazz heat to the collection, especially with such a clean pressing. All in all, I think this was a really successful jazz vinyl haul. I managed to come away with a great mix of styles, some jazz funk fusion, some genre bending fusion with folk and rock influences, and some classic Latin jazz. 3 different flavors, 3 different moods, but all of them fantastic in their own way. Let me know what you think of the albums I picked up. Do you own any of them in your collection? And if you do, what are your standout tracks? I always love to hear your thoughts. You lot have some brilliant recommendations and insights, so don't be shy. Drop a comment below so we can keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, it really does help the channel. And of course, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my jazz deep dives, vinyl hauls, and any of the other content that I've got coming up. There's loads more on the way, so definitely stay tuned. If you want to keep hanging out and you're in the mood for more jazz content, I will pop a video in the corner for you to click on now. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.